Have you ever wondered what the meaning of being meek is? I had a meeting today, and during that meeting, the word meek came up. And when I explained what the true meaning of meek is, the person was surprised. And so, actually, this video is a special request based on that information today. And so, I want to just expound it a bit more. So, I was surprised myself when I came across the understanding of meek, and I asked myself, why is it that we don't hear a description of being meek being given in various churches? I've never seen it on YouTube or in any church I've ever been a part of. I've always been taught to understand that being meek means someone would be docile and someone who shouldn't be seen, shouldn't be heard, that is not high in society, etc. But there's another element to being meek. Being meek is not only, in fact, it's not at all someone who is docile or someone who is low in class, etc. Is really and truly someone who has the ability to be of a high standard, high stature, or to be able to do great things or look a particular way or be as effective as anyone else, but has made the decision not to. So if you look at, let's say, Warren Buffett, for example, having all the money that he has, can simply buy a house for $100 million, but instead he chose to live in the house he paid $30,000 for all those years ago, and drives a vehicle that is nowhere near $50,000 when he can buy a fleet of vehicles that would have a worth of over $1 million and still not affect his bank account. So when we look at meek, it's actually the best description I've seen of it is one who is enabled or who is well able to use a sword but decides to keep it in its sheath. So one who is very skilled and can do great damage. So for example, when you look at someone who has a black belt in martial arts, when they're being trained, they're not actually being trained to fight, they're being trained to defend themselves. But moreover, they're being trained to be disciplined. And what you find is the more skilled someone gets in being able to defend themselves, is the less probability it would have for them to fight someone. You'll quicker see someone with a black belt turning on the other cheek and allowing the other person to strike them again, opposed to someone who is not able to really fight other than street fight, wanting to be tempered to fight with someone without even sometimes the first blow. So really and truly, someone being meek, when scripture indicates that the meek shall inherit the earth, it basically is saying someone who is able to do damage, but because of discipline and a decision to remain peaceful above all, that they have the ability to control their actions. And so they have decided to allow the other person to win. So if we look at any aspect of scripture, you would see that it's always a basis of choice, but someone who has temperance and who is able to control temptation or desires or any aspect of their lives. So being meek is not someone who is not valid or does not have or cannot have a position in society, but it's moreover someone who knows their worth, knows their value, but chooses not to be boastful, chooses not to demonstrate attitude of being selfish or one that seeks to be noticed. And so if you look through the Bible, you look through almost any scripture, from be it even Hinduism, be it is Muslims, and you look at the Bhagavad Gita, you would even see that there are a number of scriptures that represents a very similar aspect of what meekness actually is, and that someone being meek is actually going to be the beneficiary of the earth. And so when you see scripture says that the meek will inherit the earth, or it indicates that they will have peace, they would be guided and stuff like that, it simply is indicating someone that is tempered and has control. Similarly, if you look at being lowly is not someone who is low in status or spiritless. If you look at Google, you will see meek and lowly would have a number of negative connotations to it. Now, the thing is, if you were to take the negative aspects of that, and you understand from a biblical standpoint what Christ represents, he says he's meek and he's lowly in heart. And so then if that is the case, he would be of no value, and he would be spiritless based on what Google would tell you the meaning of those words are. In true and in fact, it's someone that is lowly at heart is someone who can choose to be out there and really do things that is going to demonstrate value and worth, but has taken the decision not to, because they know their actual worth, and has chosen not to be one that is going to be boastful. So someone that is meek and lowly at heart is really and truly someone who has great value, but sees no need to demonstrate their value externally. And so they know their value internally, and so that's all that really matters to them. And so those are the people who does not see a need to be boastful or to demonstrate any great wealth, even though they actually have it. And I know a number of them. Those are the people who are actually meek. And so the reason I actually do this video as well today is because for all the people I've met so far that striving to be meek based on what they have learned in the church, what you are actually doing is seeking and remaining to be poor. Scripture also indicates, all scriptures also indicates that there's a desire and a need for you to be your best self and to be prosperous. You can't be meek and lowly and be prosperous based on what the world standards are. But you just need to understand your purpose and seek to be someone of great value. But don't feel the need that you have to go out there and be boastful. Don't feel the need that you have to have 5 vehicles and 3 homes and stuff like that. If you have 1 home and you can help someone else get another home who is in need, 1 home should be enough for you. Anytime you think that you could have 5 homes, it means that you've already probably given away 500 homes. Okay? So there's really no need for someone to have 5 homes when there are people out there who doesn't even have 1 room to stay in. And those are the true demonstration of meek. It's not about being wealthy or poor, because there are people who are meek with money and without money. There are people who are wealthy in life. I've seen them and they're poor. They're not meek in heart. They just think that they're poor. So it's not about money. You can have great wealth, as you see, as I mentioned, Warren Buffett. Even the owner of YouTube, if you look at Zuckerberg, you'll see that he really does not spend money like people who would have just about 500 million opposed to his 60-70 billion dollars. He really and truly doesn't spend any kind of money in comparison. That's a person who is more or less meek in heart just by the way he dresses and his attire. So I hope that you get a clear understanding. I've never heard this meek be described like this. I hope this would help a number of people who have struggled with trying to understand that aspect of the church and what is actually required of them. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you feel about this description and with your own findings. I'm willing to understand it in a deeper level if you are able to show me another meaning or another way in which it could be represented. All right, so bye for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to those who you feel may have a need for it. Bye for now.